Howdy folks, Brian Cusco here at Triple B, and today we've got Meghan Kelley, maybe better known as Megaconda because she works with lots of anacondas. We had her on the channel once before, but we're bringing her back, so I hope you enjoy it. You watch Triple B TV.
Are you coming over with Dave on Monday?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
And the only reason I'm not sure is because it really depends on how this goes. I might need to get back home.
Okay.
But if this affords me to be away from home, then yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I'd like to.
Yeah.
But now you came to me, so it's almost like, well, now I don't really need to go
Yeah,
anywhere.
but you've never seen all my stuff.
That's true, and you don't have the T positives here. So.
No.
So I might have to. So Meghan Kelley, how have you been?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. You know, you've seen me in more rare of a moment, I think, than a lot of people have.
Really?
Yeah. I think that.
Well, what?
up in the lounge, the
Oh,
club.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a.
You were like wrestling, what's his name?
Andy.
Yeah, him. That was a night.
It was getting a little serious for a moment, so I remember people were a little concerned. But
Yeah, and then the Canadians were there, and the one kept hitting on me. That was fun. I was sitting next to Dave Levinson, and this Canadian guy is here. I forget what his name. Sorry. And he's like sitting next to me, and he just kept putting his hand on my leg, and Dave just keeps looking over, and I'm just like, what the fuck do I do? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is awkward. Every time I'd move, he'd like move over.
I remember being probably awkward too, because when I got Andy into some kind of like rear naked
Oh,
chokehold
yeah.
on the ground, and you and Dave were sitting right there just looking like, is this okay? Is anybody gonna die? Yeah, that was
a good
fun.
time.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
But so I mean, obviously you didn't bring the T positive, but
Right.
why didn't you bring the T positive?
It's too risky.
Too risky.
Yeah.
For
Just, I don't know.
how many did you produce?
I got 4 out of it, 4 visuals.
Okay,
So, yeah.
that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and then there was 12 in the whole litter of like just babies, so there's a bunch of hets. So these are just normals that I brought here today, but it's too risky. Like people trying to steal them, people not really knowing what it is, and just it's too much.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
that's all right. Maybe we can make it over there.
yeah.
Well, maybe I can make it over there. I know Dave's going over, but
yeah.
besides producing some of the most, I'm sure Ben was smiling down
I hope so. Yeah.
as that was happening.
Yeah, it was exciting. I mean, I didn't, because like I got them just being told that they were hets. Like I had to prove it out for myself to make sure. And so it's just like, for me, it was kind of like okay, I did this kind of moment. Like they're here, I did it, which was really cool. So it was exciting.
Yeah, I don't doubt that for a second. I mean, that's a big jump for. I mean,
There's like no real morphs in anacondas,
Yeah.
like greens at least.
Right.
So it was a big step. It was exciting, and like the scariest part was the mom was eating them when I found them. So
Mom was eating the babies.
she's a baby eater apparently. So
Is that fairly common in
yeah, it's pretty
anacondas?
common. So like you can get it where like the female will eat the male, so you kind of have to really watch them when you introduce them together. I've known of them to eat like stillborns and the slugs and stuff, but like it's the first time I've seen them eat live babies, which I've heard of, but I've never seen it before, especially not with like all my others. So
Did you see which ones she ate? I mean, because you got cameras and stuff, right?
yeah, I caught her eating an albino, so I ended up getting that out of her mouth. It's just pour a little vodka in there and she spits them out. So
Was she like, this is a weird looking one, they're not right, it's time to...
probably, yeah. She's like, it looks too much like me. So yeah,
Wait, is she visual?
she's visual.
Oh,
Mom's a
okay.
T positive, yeah.
Okay,
So
that's sweet.
I got the double heads paired up right now, so hopefully they'll do something and we'll see snows this year. But I don't know right now. Just
What's up with this little dude?
this is just a normal, just green to green. He is kind of lively. Early he wasn't. So, but he's really cool looking, really pretty. I think he's one of the better looking ones out of the litter.
Yeah, I think it's probably because he's been in your hand. His tongue's even moving a little faster than when he first got over here.
Yeah.
Anacondas are sweet. Why did you settle, what is it about anacondas that, because they're obviously your favorite species?
Right. I kind of was always growing up with reptiles. I always had something, and like my brother and I had berms and retics, and I think I was like 15, and I just wanted an anaconda just because like the stereotype. So I bought one off Craigslist after my parents told me no, and I kept it for 6 months, and finally like one of them walked in on me holding it, and I was like, well, I have this now, and then I got more, and it just kind of grew from there. And they were mad about it at first, but now they see what I've done with it, and like they don't really care. It's also been like 12 years since I got my first one, so I turned it into something instead of just buying it stupidly.
Do you work with any other species besides anaconda?
Yeah, I have berms, retics. I have a couple ball pythons that I just pair up for fun sometimes. I mean, I got some that are breeding right now. But
I feel like in the big snake world, people breeding ball pythons is like, it's my dirty little secret.
Kind of. I went backwards. So the first snake I bred was an anaconda, like myself, and then I went backwards and bred ball pythons. So I took a step back and like did the hardest snake to like one of the easiest, kind of. So.
Did it end up being easy for you to
ball
breed the ball python?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
I got a buddy who breeds all kinds of like species that people haven't really bred in captivity,
really?
But he's having trouble getting the ball python to breed.
At first, when I first started it, because I was thinking of it more like retics, I'd been doing that forever. So I was like, okay, well, it's different. They're smaller. It's not as complicated, I don't think, because they're not as big. So that's kind of how I saw it. And then after that, it was just easy. So.
Is there any cooling period at all, or
for anacondas?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to drop them really low.
That's what I would imagine.
And that's what I learned from Ben. So you have to drop them. So like their hot spot's at 89. At night, when you start to cycle them, before you introduce the male, you drop the heat in the whole room, that's what I do, to down to like 74, 73. And then you bring the hot spot back up to 89 during the day. And it gets them to cycle. And then after about, I think like 3 weeks of doing that, I put the male in, who I usually keep the male at around like 84 during breeding season. Throw him in with her, and then they kind of feel it out. And then after like a week or two, usually you'll get a lock.
How long will you sit and watch a female to make sure she's not going to eat the male when you first put them together?
So what I do is like when I go in there to clean, I know I'm going to pair stuff up. I'll put a male in with that female first thing, and then I'll watch them as I'm cleaning. And usually I'm cleaning throughout the day. So like I also have cameras in my cages. So I just kind of keep an eye on them with the cameras while I'm in there cleaning or feeding or doing whatever. So I'm kind of in there for like the first day of it, just in and out all day long, keep an eye on them. So that's just what I do. Plus I have the cameras just in case.
Now, after you have them, like if you have a pair that you've paired together, do you still think that there's a risk, or now they know each other, it's not as much that you need to pay attention, or is it always still a factor even if they've been paired in previous seasons?
So usually you can get a feel for the female if she's going to show aggression. You also want to make sure she's like kind of ready to breed. So like usually you know, like when the first time you put the male in for that time, she's not going to do anything. So you can kind of like just watch them, make sure. Like I have one female that's a little iffy sometimes. That's the one I'm always like worried about. But everything else, like after a couple hours, they seem to be fine. You can leave them together for a few days. I usually leave them in there for a week, then I'll pull the male, clean it a little. Like you always want to leave like at least like one dirty piece in the cage so it keeps the pheromones and everything. So you want to clean like most of it, but leave something for the smell. So that's what I do.
That makes sense.
So, but you don't have to worry. After they've been together for a while, you shouldn't have to worry about, her eating him, especially if he's got some size. It's when they're really small. But what you also want to make sure is like the water bowl is smaller so she doesn't drown him in a big one, because she will sit on top of him and like pin him in it. So I always switch it out for a smaller bowl just to be cautious. And then I'll give them bigger bowls once they're back in their own cages. So.
Yeah, us men have it easy today. We don't have to worry as much about, the old days when the females would just sit on us in a hot tub.
Yeah.
And sorry, I didn't sleep enough last night. That's a good looking boy. So how long do you usually wait for a female before you even think about pairing her, like age-wise?
So the youngest would be like 6 years. I've had females wait until they're 10 years old to breed. So like the very first anaconda I bought, she was, I think, 10 years old the first time I got her to breed. She's now like 14. So she took a while.
When did you start to try to pair her?
As soon as my male was ready. So she was about 7 years old.
Okay.
My first male was kind of ready to go. But she just didn't want nothing to do with it because the same year I tried her, I had gotten a different female that I raised for a couple years, and she was ready to go. She was a little bit older when I got her, but she was still kind of like sub-adult. So she was ready to go that same season, and like it worked out. I got a few babies out of her for her first time, but she's only like 9 feet. So you want the size and the age. So you want at least like 6 years is like the minimum, but it's kind of young. So I usually wait till like 7 or 8, just because I have other females. I can do that. I'm not like trying to push them. 8 years is kind of where they usually start to go pretty good, but it all depends. So you also want size on them, so they have to be at least like 9 feet, I think is a good length to start a female off. Males can be like 5-6 feet and still produce, but they have to be like 3 years old.
Do you ultrasound at all, or you just go by?
I don't. I just go by like, I kind of learn the snakes pretty well, so like I have certain ones that go certain times a year, and I'll focus on them that time of year and throw the male in there then. So I kind of just pay attention to them.
It's
and
like
figure
a
it
body
out.
language thing, or like
Kind of. You can kind of see like the way they kind of build their body up during those years, and it's always like whenever it rains, it's always a great time to pair them because they like a week before you know it's gonna rain, kind of start doing a heat cycle, get the male ready, and then a couple days before it rains, make sure they're not gonna fight, put them in there, and then usually the day it rains, you'll get a lock. So.
Yeah, I definitely do that with the pythons. Like if it's gonna rain, I know that it's time to do it. Which here in California is not.
It's not easy, but
it's like you gotta find those little pockets, especially the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
But that's cool, man. Well, I might slap up a couple pictures of the T positive here, just so some folks at home watching can see them.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you got coming up in the future? I mean, T positive is pretty. I don't know how you're gonna beat that one out, but
I have the double heads paired up right now, so hopefully we'll see snows.
really.
So that's the next big thing, yeah.
All right. So would you call that a purple snow then?
I have no idea. It's all new to me too. It technically wouldn't be like a true snow because you need like the T negative instead of the T positive. But I don't know. Hopefully it proves out because like I have no idea what the anery really is right now because it's not proven. So hopefully we prove that this year and see snows. That's my goal.
Okay. So there is the next level to hit.
Yeah.
There. All right.
After that, I don't think there's another level. So.
Super dwarf anacondas.
Isn't that what a yellow is? Just dwarfed?
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Well, it's fun to have watched what you're doing over there over time.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you coming over and being our first interview here today because apparently everybody else is too busy.
Yeah, no problem. So, it's fun. I don't mind.
Was there anything you want to tell people before we go? I mean, we usually
No.
keep these about 10-15 minutes, so it's like...
I don't know. Do you got any more questions? I don't care.
I mean, I'm sure I could dredge up some more questions. Those are all just the ones that came to the top of my head.
Mm-hmm. You going to the auction later?
I want to, but
Are you too tired?
I might just have to go to sleep if I want to survive tomorrow. I don't know.
Auctions are always fun, though.
I know. I've never missed one.
Really?
I've never missed one.
Look at his pattern. Look how it, like, skips spots. I always find that really cool. It's like one male I have that kind of throws those in the babies.
Would you call that aberrant or just...
I don't know. I also have the same male also does, like, these double dots where they're connected, where other ones I have, they're, like, solid spots that go all the way down, but they are not connected at all. I always look for pattern and stuff in it, and I try and, like, focus on those to breed out and, like, see if I can get it looking even better each year.
You know, something I never really noticed before on Anaconda is that, especially on the side pattern, very, very reminiscent of rainbow boas.
Oh, yeah. I got a couple pictures of some in the sunlight. They're very iridescent. So, like, this was just an indoor picture where it's kind of, like, bluish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, that's actually working out pretty well.
Is it? I have an even better picture of one outside.
Yeah, I'd love to see the outside shot. What's up, little homie?
That one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've never really seen that iridescence on Anaconda like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty sweet. Wow, look at that by the neck. It's nice. What, are you jealous? He's like, I'm right here, guys. Like, you need to take video of the picture? Sorry, buddy, you're not shining today. Well, shoot, sis, I appreciate you coming over.
Yeah, no
Taking
problem.
a moment to sit down and do it.
Yeah, no problem.
Get me kick-started. I needed somebody to do that. I was literally, if nobody came over, I was just going to, like, set my chair up and fall asleep back there.
Anytime you need an interview, I'm here. I'm open to doing it.
I appreciate it. All right, thanks, Meg, for coming on. And as we always do with our Triple B TV guests, we're having a Zoom call tonight with Meg. If you want to tune in and ask us some questions that maybe I didn't ask or was too tired to ask, then you could do that. There's a link down in the description if you'd like to do that. And hopefully, assuming I don't fall asleep after this interview, we're going to be having a whole bunch more interviews from the Pomona show here. So we hope to see you guys there for those. I hope to see that I hope that I make it for those. And until next week, you can watch Triple B TV. Y'all take care. Is there anything you want to tell people before we get out?
No, I'm
Nothing. Good. That's great.
I don't really promote myself all that much.
All right,
so.
we'll do it for you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, sis.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, so when this goes out, which will probably be Tuesday, we generally do a Zoom call with our guests. Like it's like just like a half hour, like 6 p.m. on Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's fine.
You okay to do that?
Yeah.
Okay,
I get
cool.
off work at 4, so.
Okay, perfect.
Anytime after that, I'm free.
Okay, cool. I'll just hit you up the day before, just firm it up, and then I'll send you a link and stuff.
Okay.
It's super mellow. Just sit like a little Q&A with
Yeah, no problem.
small group of folks.
All right.